What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? Welcome to this episode of Dungeons and Dragons, where I talk about kobolds. So actually, I'm doing a few videos on common enemies I've faced in D&D over the years. And I wanted to start with this one, kobolds, because it was literally the first monster I ever came up against in D&D. In my very first proper D&D game, in a group of other people with a dungeon master, and so I'm not talking about learning the game. It's literally my first proper game. Kobolds. So I've got the monster manual here, and there's a little bit about kobolds here. It tells you, I'll go for, this is 5th edition D&D, but we're on our way to a dungeon, and we got attacked just outside, or ambushed just outside of a dungeon by these things. And I just thought that at the time, oh, they're cool little gribblies. But as you go into it, like it says here, kobolds are craven reptilian humanoids that worship evil dragons. Well, I didn't know that. They worship them as demigods and serve them as minions and toadies. Kobolds inhabit dragons' lairs when they can, but more commonly infest dungeons, gathering treasures, trinkets to add to their own tiny hordes. And that is certainly true of what happened to me and my fellows in the party. They're egg-laying creatures. They mature quickly and can live to be great worms. That's another thing. More than a century old. However, many kobolds perish before the end of their first decade. Physically weak, they are easy prey for predators. This vulnerability forces them to band together. Their superior numbers can win battles against powerful adversaries, but often with massive casualties on the kobold side. And it tells you they make up for their physical ineptitude with a cleverness for trap making and tunneling. This is what happened to us as a party. We were ambushed. I can't remember the exact set, because I'm talking a long time ago now. And the strange thing is, I've never come against them since. But I wanted to paint them up because they were like my first adversary, as it were, in D&D. I've not come across them since, maybe once or twice, actually, thinking about it, but nothing that stands out in memory. But the first encounter definitely stands out because it was like, oh my goodness, and my friend who was doing, we had a crude picture of them, which he sort of showed us, and the only miniatures we had at the time were unpainted, like the unpainted lead miniatures of to represent our characters. So we didn't even have miniatures for it then. In 5th edition, their strength is 7 -2, dexterity 16, constitution 9, intelligence 8, wisdom 7, character 8. They got dark vision up to 60 feet, which is cool, and they speak common and draconic. While in sunlight, the kobold has disadvantage on attack. Well, we didn't have disadvantage and advantage on rolls back in the days when I first started D&D. So, but yeah, I don't know if that was taken into account. And you can get winged kobolds too, which is interesting. A few kobolds are born with leathery wings and can fly, known as urds. They like to lurk on high ledges and drop rocks on passers-by. Although the urds' wings are seen as gifts from Tiamat, the dragon queen, wingless kobolds are envious of these gifts and don't get along with the urds. So, yeah. Talking about Tiamat, this is quite interesting. The lost god. In addition to the dragons they revere, kobolds worship a lesser god named Kurtulmak. Legends speak of how Kurtulmak served as Tiamat's vassal in the Nine Hells until Garl Glittergold, the god of gnomes, stole a trinket from the Dragon Queen's hoard. Tiamat sent Kurtulmak to retrieve the trinket, but Garl Glittergold played a trick on him, collapsing the earth and trapping the kobold god in an underground maze for eternity. For this reason, kobolds hate gnomes and pranks of any kind. Kurtulmak's most devoted worshippers dedicate themselves to finding and releasing their lost god from his prison maze. That's pretty interesting. And it tells you a little bit about sort of traps they can build and so on. But yeah, they're not a very formidable foe, but like it says, they attack in numbers, and that's exactly what happened to us. I mean, I forget how many it was, like 5 or 6 Kobolds, and we were attacked. Of course, we won, but it was very exciting and very like thrilling. And I wished we'd had these little basic miniatures to represent them back then. But I'll talk about that in another video of what we used to do and improvise and things. But yeah, so that's the first adversary I ever faced in D&D, the Kobold. Thanks for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.